How to Judge Globalism, Part 7. People of the post-colonial countries should not keep themselves away from globalization, thinking that globalization is only westernization. The author insists that globalization does belong to everyone. He gives the example of the mathematical concept of sine. Amartya Sen writes in his essay, European mathematics, with its use of such concepts as sine, was viewed as purely Western import into India. In fact, the 5th century Indian mathematician Aryabhat had discussed the concept of sine in his classic work on astronomy and mathematics in 499 AD. He called it by its Sanskrit name Jya Ardha, which literally means half god. This word, first shortened into Jia in Sanskrit, eventually became the Arabic jiba, and later jab, which means a cover, a cow, or a bay. In his History of Mathematics, Howard Eves explains that around 1150 AD, Gerardo of Cremona, in his translations from the Arabic, rendered jab as the Latin sinus, the corresponding word for the cow or a bay, and this is the source of the modern word sine. Thus we can see that the concept had traveled full circle from India and then back to India. Moving further in his essay, the writer tells us that globalization should not only be seen as a feature of imperialism. According to him, globalization is much bigger than that. Once establishing the fact that globalization is not bad for everybody. But the question is it good for everybody? Is it equally good for everybody? He asks the question and tells us that no, it is not equally good for everybody. There is a major problem in globalization, and that problem is the problem of distribution. The distribution of the fruits of globalization. He further clarifies the misconception that the poor of the world are getting poorer and the rich of the world are getting richer. He tells us that, of course, the rich are getting richer, but the poor are not getting poorer. Poor are getting, of course, some share from the benefits of the globalization, but as I told you, the distribution is not equal. Poor get a very small share from the fruits of globalization. Some anti-globalization activists believe that if the poorer countries leave globalism, they will be better off. But Amartya Sen tells us that to leave globalism would be a blunder for the poor people. Making the readers understand, he provides an example. He tells us that we know that women in a family don't get equal share. But if some of the women leave the family system, will they be better off? Will they be better than being in the family? He tells us no. If a woman leaves the family, she will leave the protection, family protection, the benefits which the family provides her. Of course, the writer is not satisfied with this meager share for the poor countries. He advocates for readjustment. Just like the women who leave their family lose every kind of familial benefit, same would be the case of those countries, those poorer countries who leave the system of globalization. So according to Amartya Sen, globalization is better than being poor for the poorer countries.